Okay, this is a moment in history. We are here with Sam Capilano and from the Squamish Nation in Red Jacket, and we're placing what's called a permanent eviction notice to the courthouse. Red Jacket is from Turtle Island. Sam Capilano is with the Squamish Nation. The permanent eviction notice is placed here because the Queen and the bankers are trespassing on his sovereign territory. This is tax-free territory. This is sovereign. Capilano, you've got some words to say here?
This is part of the Squamish Nation. It has been. My grandfather told me that when they first came, they separated, divide and conquer was the idea. Now this is known as another nation, but I know it's our land, so I'm not afraid to stand up anywhere and tell anybody.
Red Jacket, you got a few words?
Yeah, I'm Red Jacket. I'd like to tell the people that for 537 years since the two-row wampum belt was put in place, it was total destruction. And if we don't correct these here alterations that our judges in the justice system, so-called justice system, I never heard such a farce in my whole life. 60 years from now, this here earth, there's no changing back. It'll go into another Mars. Total destruction. Don't the judges understand this, or do they sleep? Who taught them? What university taught them? Where do they get their education? Don't they know they're on death row?
We just finished entering and going through a procedure at the Richmond Provincial Court, and what happened was my name got called out. I didn't correct her, which I was kind of thinking of doing, but then I thought, okay, I'm just going to present myself as who I am standing in front of her, because she seemed actually quite like a nice judge. So when she said, when I stepped up to the mic, I said I claim common law jurisdiction. She right away rattled off all the charges and wanted to ignore that statement, and then she asked me, how do I plead? And I said, I do not consent and I waive the benefit. And I think that's a really powerful statement that I want to teach to a lot of people, because when you enter a plea, you enter into a contract. Whether it's guilty or not guilty, it is their way of saying you have understood the jurisdiction that they want you to respond with. And the guilty or the not guilty is something that you actually perjurize yourself with. So when I said I do not consent, meaning I do not consent to you making any legal determinations against me, I do not consent to your jurisdictional claims against me, and I do not consent to contracting with me. Quite final with that. And because I had claimed common law jurisdiction at the beginning of my statement to the judge, she realized that I knew what I was doing, and she dismissed the case right away. So I'm really, really pleased with the outcome. After that, I actually met up with Paul Gibson in the lobby of the provincial court, and went up to him and shook his hand, and he said, and yeah, you are? And I said, oh, Irene Gravenhorst, and I told him that they dismissed the case, and he went, oh, too bad. It was orchestrated that Paul shows up after the case was dismissed so that he didn't have to deal with these issues and be on the stand, on the record, for being the debtor to the contract.
Oh, and I have to tell you that it's going to cost $3 billion.
It's fine, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
My whole thing is not to be angry at Paul. I know that somebody initiated that particular call on the charges, and they were hoping that I don't show up. But because I do show up with my paperwork through a lien, I was more than happy to collect it, to collect all the contracts that I have already put behind me, and Capilano has accepted, which is why we've created our bank. One of the reasons why I wanted to evict the courthouse is because we need a bank. It's time for change, and I think what we're trying to do is evoke the great laws of peace, which is what Red Jacket and Capilano are wanting to legislate through the Squamish Nation government. And that's also part of the legislation for the bank charter. And the bank charter is to help people get out of these economic difficulties and give them a boost to become financially responsible and to stop wasting and to minimize and not be materialists the way that the powers of be are, and to start loving each other and start hugging each other more and to support each other on this journey of sovereignty and just to be in your alignment with your chakras and your spirit and just to be who you are. And I think everybody here is beautiful. So I'm really grateful. Thank you.